So guys, this is our last day of these quadratic word problems, and today's the best day because they're all really, I don't want to use the word easy, but they're all not that, we don't use the quadratic formula, let's just put it that. All right, so today's a really good day, and then tomorrow I'll probably, I guess, come up with some type of maybe like small review, and then Friday's our chapter 4 test, unit 4 test on that Google form I was telling you guys about. All right, so here we go. So today's quadratic word problems, they're not the gravity objects in motion. We're going to see some different kinds about profit, okay? So what happens in today's problems, profit problems, they aim to show that there is a relationship between the price a company sells an item for and the profit the company can then make off the sale of that item, okay? There is going to be a perfect price that a company can sell the item for and be able to maximize its profit. So again, all these problems are trying to show you that there's a direct relationship between the price of an item and then the money the company can make off of the sale of that item. If the price they sell the item for is too high, well guys, consumers may not buy the item if the price is too high and therefore the company cannot make a profit. If they sell the item for a price that is too low, well the good news is consumers are going to buy it because the price is low, but if it's so low, the company may not be able to make enough money back to cover their own cost. Because remember, it costs the company to make the item, so they want to make sure they sell the item for enough money in order to make their cost back and then some. So in that case, if the price is so low, the profit might just be very small, or there might not be any profit because they didn't make enough money to cover their own cost. So guys, there's going to be this perfect price. The perfect price is going to be the highest price that consumers are willing to buy the item for, and the lowest price the company can afford to sell the item for, but still make the most profit. So when you have this relationship between price and profit, let price be X. Let the price of the item be X, and let the profit made by the company be Y. Guys, the relationship between this price and profit follows the shape of a parabola, all right? If you think about it, as the price gets higher and higher and higher, obviously the higher the price gets, the more money the company can make. So therefore the profit is going to go up. So the price goes up, but then so does the profit. And then you're eventually going to get to a point where you've reached this perfect price, right? Where it's the perfect amount of money that consumers are willing to spend, and the company is making the most money. And guys, that's going to be the vertex, all right? But then after that perfect price, where the people are still buying it and the company is making tons of money, then the profit's going to start to go down, because you have to realize once you reach this perfect price, there is going to be a price as it gets bigger that consumers are going to be like, wait a minute, the price is now way too high. I'm not buying that item for that price. The price is too high. So when the price gets too high, now obviously the profit starts to go down again because people have stopped buying the item. So this entire relationship between price and profit is modeled by a parabola. So therefore we can use quadratic equations to relate the price and the profit. So all of our questions are going to be asking about what is that perfect price, or what is the most profit the company can make. So guys, all of today's questions are vertex questions. So we don't have to do any quadratic formula problems today. All of the problems that we deal with are going to be dealing with price and max profit, which are all vertex questions, okay? All right, so let's give it a try. All right, so in these problems, there's two types of questions. There's two goals they're going to ask us to find. One of them is going to be to measure or find the max profit. If they ask you to find the max profit, that's the y coordinate of the vertex. If they ask you to find the price the company must sell the item for, that perfect price, that's the x coordinate of the vertex. So guys, those are the only two things they're going to ask us to find. So all of these are going to be vertex questions. So look at example 1. I copied it right off Delta Math. This is exactly what hey Ian, come on in. This is exactly what your homework is going to look like. Example 1 says, a company sells widgets. Guys, in every example, they're selling widgets, okay? Here you go. I have to put it on the floor, too. Okay. Sorry, guys. All right, I'm back. So a company sells widgets. All of the examples on Delta Math, that's what they're selling. I don't even know what a widget is. All right, but either way, they're selling widgets. the amount of profit Y, so Y represents profit, made by the company is related to the selling price of each widget X, so X is the price, by the given equation. So guys, they've given you a quadratic equation. So again, the numbers are pretty big, we'll deal with it. Using this equation, find out what price the widget should be sold for to the nearest cent for the company to make the maximum profit. So guys, again, remember what's going on. Let price of that widget be X, and let the profit the company makes be Y, right? So as the price goes up, so does the profit. They're going to reach this perfect price, and then that max profit, and then once the price gets too high, the profit starts to go back down. So that vertex is represented by an X and a Y coordinate, where X is the price and Y is the profit. So find out what price the widget should be sold for. So guys, they just asked you to find that perfect price. That's the X coordinate of your vertex. So all we have to do to answer this question is find the X coordinate of that vertex created by that quadratic equation. So guys, it's just a negative b over 2a question. So the price, which is equal to X, will be equal to the opposite of b divided by 2 times a. That's all we have to do to answer this question. So the opposite of b will be negative 700 divided by 2 times a, which is negative 9. Well, 2 times negative 9, guys, that's really negative 18. So ask your calculator, and you can drop the negatives. We know the answer is going to be positive. What's 700 divided by 18? Hold on, my calculator. Oh. All right, so now, guys, we're talking about price, right? So they asked you to round your answer to the nearest cents. That's 2 decimal places, cents. So I got 38.88888 repeating. So to round that to the nearest cent, 88 cents, but since it's followed by an 8, I round that up to 89. So $38.89 is the perfect price that this company should sell its widget for in order for the company to make the most amount of profit. Does that seem easy enough? Just a nice little vertex question, okay? Guys at home, are you okay with that? Nice and easy? All right, so example number 2 is just like this question. It's another profit problem where they ask you to find that perfect price. So I'm gonna give you guys a head start on number 2. You guys try number 2. All right, guys, I don't want to rush you, but again, this usually doesn't take too long. It's the same type of problem. A company is selling widgets. The profit Y related to the selling price X is given by this equation. So you got a new quadratic equation. Using this equation, find out what price the widget should be sold for to the nearest cent for the company to make the maximum profit. So again, if they want to find out that perfect price, they want the X coordinate of your vertex. So negative b over 2a is going to be negative 1,325 divided by 2 times negative 30, which is negative 60. So when you ask your calculator, what is that? Anybody want to volunteer? They got us the perfect price for this one? It's in the 20s. I'll give you a hint. Anybody got it? 22.08. So I got 22.08. What was it? 3 repeating? Yeah. So when you round to the nearest cent, that's the nearest two decimal places. Since 8 is followed by a 3, I would not round that up. And that means $22.08 is that perfect selling price where the company will be able to make the most amount of profit. All right, so the only other thing they could do from here is, what if they asked you, all right, well, what is the most profit? What is that maximum profit? Well, then that would be the y coordinate of your vertex. And guys, unfortunately, you can't get the y coordinate of your vertex without getting the x coordinate first. So in this problem, you already know the perfect price. Now to find the perfect profit or the most profit, you'd have to take this price, plug it in for x, and then whatever y value comes out represents the most profit. So that's the only other thing they're going to ask you to do. So let's look at example 3 so we can try that. All right, so example 3 says a company sells widgets. The amount of profit Y made by the company, so profit is Y, is related to the selling price X of each, the selling price of each widget, which is X, by the given equation. So we got a new quadratic equation. Using this equation, find out the maximum amount of profit. So guys, they didn't ask us to find price here. They asked us to find the maximum amount of profit and round your answer to the nearest dollar. Well, guys, if they want us to find the max profit, that is the y coordinate of our vertex. But like I said, you really can't get to the y coordinate until you find that x coordinate. So we're still going to have to find that perfect price, that x value. So we're still going to have to do negative b over 2a. So that's going to be negative 242 divided by 2 times negative 8, which is negative 16. So what is that perfect price? I got 15.125. Now, guys, normally, if the problem asked you to round to the nearest dollar, then I would round this to the nearest dollar and then plug it in. But because we're dealing with money, and this is the perfect price, I would still round to the nearest cent, get that perfect price. So in this case, it's 12 cents, but since it's followed by a 5, I would round that to 13 cents. So $15.13 is your perfect price. Because they didn't ask for the price. They want to know what's that maximum profit. So we want the y coordinate. So to find y, you got to take that perfect price, that x value, plug it in for x, and then see what number comes out. And that's your max profit. So let's plug it in. So y will equal negative 8 times $15.13 squared plus 242 times $15.13, and then minus 1,056. Plug that into your calculator, it does the entire thing for you. I'll give you a hint. The number ain't that big. When you think about a company making money, it's not that big of a number, although I wouldn't be mad if somebody gave me this amount of money, but it's not huge. Don't think you did it wrong. Anybody want to volunteer what they got? It's in the 700s. 774. What was it? What was the decimals? Do you have them? 1248. Perfect. All right. So you got $774 and about 12 cents. But they asked you to round your answer to the nearest whole dollar. So guys, if this is 12 cents, I'm not going to round up. I would round down. So $774 is the most profit that this company can make selling that item. All right? All right, the last example is another max profit. So it's another y coordinate of the vertex. So you guys try number 4, and then we'll be good to go. I'll give you guys a head start. right, guys, just really quick to check in. This problem asked you to find out the maximum amount of profit. So again, it's the y coordinate, but you can't get the y coordinate without getting the x coordinate first. So first you gotta find that perfect price, which I got this. So I rounded it to $34.63. But that's not the answer. Now to get the profit, plug that in for x and see what profit comes out. So let's just do that real quick and we'll compare our answers. Does anybody want to share what they got as the profit? It's in the 10,000s, but just barely. Anybody get an answer? I didn't get 3. I actually got just above that, 10,004. So originally I got $10,000, $10,004 I want to say 0165 or something like that, I think. So really it's $10,004 and about 2 cents. They asked you to round your answer to the nearest whole dollar, so there's no reason to round up when it's just 2 cents. So that would be $10,004 is the maximum amount of profit this company can make selling that widget. All right, how's that feel? Everybody okay? All right, again, usually these problems are very nice in the sense that we don't have to do the quadratic formula. These are vertex questions, but just pay attention to whether or not it's the x coordinate or the y coordinate. All right, everybody at home, can I get a thumbs up? Are you guys okay? Yes? Okay, awesome. All right, so guys, you have another homework assignment tonight off of these questions. It's 4 questions. It's just like the notes. 2 price questions and 2 profit questions, and that's it. All right? But again, I had to hand pick the homework problems, so you're not going to get a new problem. You get 3 tries on each one of these 4 problems, and then you're cut off, all right? It's not going to keep giving you new problems, so you're not guaranteed to get that 100. But a lot of students yesterday said they felt better about the problems yesterday after day 2, so their day 1 homework, I was able to reset it. If you wanted to redo the first day's homework, now that you feel better, I don't mind doing that. You just gotta text me and let me know, all right? But again, you're not guaranteed a 100% on these because they're not gonna give you a new problem after the 3 tries. All right, let me just double check the attendance and then you guys will be good to go.